Part 7 of our Lab Safety Materials PowerPoint. We're going to talk about the Bunsen burner here in this one. The Bunsen burner we'll use occasionally as a heat source. We'll sometimes use the hot plate, but if we switch lab rooms, sometimes we can use the Bunsen burner. You have the barrel here, which is typically made out of, this part's made out of aluminum. It doesn't heat up very fast. And the top part's made out of copper. That's the part you don't touch. This is the part you adjust with. You have little windows here that allow the oxygen to mix with the methane that's coming through the tube. And down here is the needle valve, which we just keep open. You don't need to mess with the needle valve. If you unscrew it, it's going to open the valve for the gas to come in. And again, we can turn it and adjust the amount of air mixing with the methane as it combusts up here. And depending on the amount of oxygen, you can get a hotter flame. This is the striker. Now you can use the striker. It's got a flint piece in here and a metal file. And you hold it here in your thumb and you squeeze it and you get a spark going. You can also use just a lighter. It's a lot easier. But the strikers are cheaper because all you have to do is replace the little piece of flint. So make sure that you get a chance to use the striker at some point when we're doing our Bunsen burner lab. Obviously it's used as a heat source. When you are starting up the Bunsen burner, make sure that you check for holes in the hose. Make sure the hose is firmly attached to the valve and the burner. That typically is going to be done by me before you even come in. And I'll also check the needle valve. So really, you start down here. Very, very important. When you are lighting a burner, the first thing you do when you're ready to ignite it is make sure that whatever your ignition source, a match, a lighter, or a striker, make sure it is on before you turn the gas on. You do not want to turn the gas on first, then light the ignition source. As you are looking for your matches or trying to get your striker to spark, there's potential for the gas to build up. So the rule is always make sure your ignition source is going first, then turn the gas on. Hold your ignition source above, about a ½ inch above the barrel, and turn on the jet, the gas jet. The lever on the gas jet is off when it's parallel to the valve. It's got only one on position, and that's when it's parallel to the valve. So either direction you turn it, and it's perpendicular, that's off. When you turn it parallel, that's on. You want to adjust the flame so that it has an inner blue cone. It's going to look blue. It's going to be an outer cone and an inner cone. And the inner blue cone, the tip of the inner blue cone, is your hottest part of the flame. And that makes a pretty big difference, as you can see. This is a bad flame. It's still going to heat up, but it's not very efficient reaction because the oxygen's not mixing with the methane before it ignites. It's mixing up here. You open up these windows down here, you mix the oxygen with the methane as it's coming up through the barrel, and you get a nice double cone. So this is the outer blue cone, this is the inner blue cone. So right about here is about 800 degrees Celsius. That's the hottest part of the Bunsen burner. And that's what you want. You want to have the inner blue cone. So whatever you're heating, you want it to be even with your tip of your inner blue cone. A typical heating apparatus is going to look something like this. You're going to have your ring stand. You're going to have a ring clamp. You're usually going to have a wire gauze sitting on top of the ring clamp. And then a beaker with the liquid that you want to heat up, and your Bunsen burner here. Now again, you're going to set this up so that the base of the beaker is getting hit by the tip of the inner blue cone. That'll make the lab much more efficient, and it won't take all period for your liquid to heat up. Few last items before we finish up here. To measure mass, we're going to either use a triple beam balance or an electronic balance. I prefer electronic balances just because it's faster, but we'll use triple beams occasionally when we need to. Some items that we haven't gone over but have obvious uses. Test tube rack holding your test tubes, rubber stoppers, stirring rods, goggles, apron, wash bottle. There's the wash bottle. These are all items that I hope you have an idea of what they're used for. If not, come talk to me in class and I will help you out. So that ends the Lab Safety and Materials PowerPoint. This is part 7.